again, and this is my blog number 3, and I decided that I wanted to do this one kind of on a mixture of things. As most of you should know, I'm fairly ADD and I cannot stay on one topic, and I was sitting here and I'm, trying to focus on one topic and figure out what I want to talk about, and it's just like I have all these things that have happened in my life that I feel that a lot of people are going through, and I honestly believe from the bottom of my heart that it can help people. And I think that if you can use my mistakes and my errors to better your situation, then let's use it, I guess that the main thing I want to talk about is self-esteem and like learning to really love yourself internally and externally. I actually found a Bible verse, and I'm going to pull it up really quick. It was talking about loving yourself. Where is it? Let's see. Here it is. It says on here, do not let your adorning be external. It's 1 Peter 3 and verse 3 through 4. And then it says, do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of your hair, and the putting of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. I'm going to read that again because I kind of fumbled on my words. 1 Peter 3 through 4. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of your hair and the putting of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's very sight is very precious. I just think that's amazing. Like right there in 1 Peter, it's talking about not letting yourself be materialistic. I think that I personally have struggled with that and figuring out where I want to be and who I want to be. I think like growing up, I didn't have a lot. I had a single mother who, bless her heart, fought for everything that we had. I appreciate it because I think that it made me the person that I am. I think that it gives me a lot of appreciation for the things that I have. But I think because I didn't have those things when I was younger, now I'm like, I gotta have this, I gotta have this, I gotta have this, and I think that it made me a little more impulsive, but, I'm using my decisions better now to not be so impulsive, but, I just think, like, our whole lives are this comparing battle, and we are constantly comparing ourselves to everyone, whether we're as thin as someone else, or if our hair is as good as someone else's, or our clothes, or our house, or, whatever. It's just like, we always feel like we have to size up to that person. Why can't we just be, like, happy for that person instead of, like, envious, I don't know, I think, like, one thing that I've always compared was, like, my relationships, and, all of my friends are either in, like, marriage relationships, or they're just free birds and don't want a relationship, and I've always looked at myself, and I would compare myself to these other people, and I would say, I'm a hard worker, and I have a good heart, and I have a giving heart, and I have this, and I have that, and I'm all these things. Why can't I have someone who loves me and wants to marry me? Why can't I have this family? And I'd be like, why do I have to struggle? Why is this person's life so much better than mine? Or, like, especially growing up in the home that I did, we didn't have a lot of money, and I remember I'd be like, why do I have to shop here? Why can't I shop at the mall? Or, why can't I have these things? Or why can't I do this? And it was just always like a sizing up battle for me. And I think that we all do that. And I think that like the media, even like, okay, for instance, on my lunch break, we have a ton of magazines, the hospital in the break room, and the magazine, there's like one part of it. I wish that I had an example. I'm hoping that if you look at the People magazine, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's like the red carpet pictures, and they say who wore it better. Instead of saying, wow, that's a beautiful dress, they're like, did the curvier person wear it better, or did the toothpick person wear it better? And it's just so sad. Or like even in the media, like Jessica Simpson gained a ton of weight, and instead of realizing that she just had a baby and maybe she's a little self-conscious about those things, and she's working on getting back in shape, they criticized her. And I think that that's what happened to Britney Spears too. I think that she was pushed into starlight, and has had to live this life her whole life, and I don't think that she really had a choice on the matter. And I think that finally she just snapped. She couldn't handle the pressure anymore. She couldn't handle the media and the paparazzi like mocking her, saying she's too fat or she's too thin. She had a song out about that, and I just think it's really sad that we can't appreciate, the talent and say, wow, she's a really great singer, wow, whatever. Or, even in her times of struggle, why couldn't we have comforted her and said, wow, this sucks that, she's going through this, but, we're all going to pray for her and hope that she makes it through. Like, we all go through those moments where we just feel like we're going to snap and we can't take it anymore. We all reach our boiling point, and I don't know. I just feel like God is like putting this on my heart right now that we need to love each other. Like, I just feel like all my messages are going to come down to that. Like, stop criticizing someone else, because of their weight or because of whatever else. Stop comparing. Stop comparing. You are not some Victoria's Secret model. You are not, whatever you want to be, whatever you're aspiring to be. Be you. Create you. Pretend that you're this mold of clay. Make yourself who you are and who you want to be. It's your decision. Every day is your decision. And, yeah, I just think it's really sad, that's how our economy is. But I think that, from today on, this is something that I'm definitely going to work on, and I'm going to try my hardest not to compare myself to other people. I have a few other Bible verses that I would like to read. This next one is Isaiah 43:4, and it says, because you are precious in my eyes and honored, and I love you, I give men in return for you, peoples in exchange for your life. Let's see. I had another one. Okay, right here, this next verse that I had written down was Luke 12:7. Why? Even the hairs on your head are numbered. Fear not. You are of more value than many sparrows. Now, here's another verse I think that goes on self-esteem, and I think that there's a lot of people who have issues with thinking so highly of themselves, and this next one would be perfect for someone if they're struggling with that. It's Romans 12:3. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. So you're not to think too highly of yourself to the point where you set yourself above someone else or below someone else, but you are to be you. Be who God made you. And if you're not sure who that you is, you need to seek God. You need to ask him, God, you made me. You had a plan and a purpose. You had, what do you call that? You had, I think it's a blue screen. You had this thing mapped out before I was born. You knew who I was going to be. You know the family that I was going to be with. You knew the life that I was going to live. You knew the struggles. You know, there's actually a song, and I wish I could think of it right now, but it's the song, and it says that you're right there. You're there. If you're already there, and I'm gonna find out who it's from. Let's see. I think it's Casting Crowns. Yeah, I think that it is. It's You're Already There by Casting Crowns. And I'm gonna end this video with that song. But I just think that it's incredible, like how low we think of ourselves or how high we think of ourselves. You know, we just need to be us. You know, be the you that God created.